Welcome back. This is the Lawyer and the Legend. Of course, I'm your host, Joe Kelly, the managing partner of Joe Kelly and Associates. You know, here for all your personal injury needs. Just let Joe know. And I got my boy with me, my co-host DSolo in the house.
In the building, Street Flava, man. You know, 30 years and running nationwide now on Fox Soul. So loving you guys out there. Real talk. Yeah.
All right. So, you know, I kind of just wanted to start off today. Let us know how it started off, man. I know you're from Houston. You're a Willery. Start from the beginning of the journey.
Man, so like we were speaking off camera a little bit about this, but I come from a very, very talented family. A lot of my family members played instruments, you know, bass, guitar, drums, and
big music.
One of my uncles is a legendary blues singer called named Bud Harper. He was based out of San Antonio, Texas, and took me under his wings really early in my life and fell in love with music. I actually my plan was to get into radio to find somebody that would help me do an album.
Gotcha.
And, you know, by the time I got in radio and got, situated in radio, I fell in love with it.
So you were playing musical instruments as well?
I play a little bit of lead guitar, play a little bit of drums, dabble on the keyboard just a little bit,
All right,
and that's my family, like you were gonna play something.
Gotcha.
I don't care, tambourine, something.
Gotcha. Clap your hands.
You clap your hands or something. You gonna do something in our family, But they really pushed us to be our best at whatever we would do. I have my younger cousin name is Gail. She's out right now, extraordinary singer, rapper, performer, and she's, from my same family, from that group of people from that same family.
Gotcha.
But, got into, the short version is, got into radio. I was actually DJing in some of your major clubs here in Houston back in the day, before I got into radio. So people like, Big Steve, Captain Jack.
Oh, legends.
Legends.
Just like you.
They introduced me to the game and took me under their wings, and before I knew it, I was on air, in radio. And
so were you working? I know Mad Hatter. This is the 102 days. I assume.
Yes,
I know me back in growing up, 102 was the station.
Yes. Yeah. Well, back in the time when I first started, 102 and 97, they were owned by separate companies.
Okay.
And we were actually at war with 102.
Oh, okay.
And one thing led to another. They ended up, I think, buying 102. It was Clear Channel, I believe. Don't quote me on that, but I believe it was Clear Channel that bought out 102 and combined them together.
Gotcha.
And I believe they're under the same roof today, if I'm not mistaken. Just submitted my mixtape, and my homeboy, Golden Boy Glenn Cooper, he's now in Minnesota. He runs like 2 different stations in Minnesota now. So shout out to Coop, my boy, Golden Boy Glenn Cooper. But Golden Boy caught me at one of my sets at one of the clubs that I was DJing in.
Okay.
He's like, man, you tore the club up. Like,
what club?
I believe it was Rhinestone Wrangler.
Oh, okay.
I believe it was Rhinestone Wrangler.
J Prince is heavy.
Yeah, man, you remember, so I do believe that because, like I said, it was Captain Jack, Big Steve. Yeah. Those guys were running Houston back then. So if you were going to do anything on some turntables in any club, you had to go through them. So I just basically got lucky, man. God was with me, and they took me under their wings and taught me everything I know. I'm still good friends with Captain Jack, his beautiful wife and everybody, and I really appreciate what they did for me. But took that and ran with it, man. They wouldn't let me in driving. They wouldn't let me on the tables right away.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, man, I just need to get in. Cool.
Hey, just give me a chance.
Just give me a chance. Yeah. I said, he's like, man, well, I can get you a job like driving the van. I was like, man, when do I need to be there?
Yeah, for real. What gas?
What gas? So I actually got that job, started driving the van, and the hustler that I am, man, when I jumped on that van, I started making buku money off the van because they had different broadcasts you would go to, and I would, kind of like turn a corner. I got homeboys that own all kind of stuff. Hey man, I bring the van over there for X amount, and I do a break with you and everything. Man, I had clients, bro. So after a while, I think maybe about 6 months, they listened to the tape that I gave them.
Oh, okay.
And they were like, man, listen, you cold on the turntables. Like, we need to bring you on in and start, letting you mix.
Okay.
But you'll have to get off the van. I'm like, oh, man.
But the van got
paper.
my bread. My bread gonna hurt my pockets.
My paper's on this van, man.
Yeah.
So I had to, just let that go
Make
and
that
decision and step into the other role that I came there to do.
Yeah.
And, it lit up after that. One thing led to another. I looked over at Coop, which was the DJ back in the time.
Okay.
Coop was the #1 DJ in the city, and I think Jimmy Olsen was on 102, and me, Coop, Mean Green, just some legends was over at 97 back in the day.
Definitely.
And so they finally gave me a chance to get on the turntables. It wasn't 3 months after I looked across at Coop was like, man, I could do that too.
Yeah.
He was like, okay, well, let me start helping you train. You got to do your submit a tape to him. So I did an air check tape, submitted it to Scorpio.
Okay.
Robert Scorpio was the program director. Shout out Scorpio, man, wherever you are. That's my guy, man.
Yeah.
And Scorpio listened to the tape and he put me on. He started me off on late nights.
Okay.
So I started doing late nights, and
It's on 97.9?
this is on 97.9, yeah. And this was all within a year, Joe.
Okay.
All within a year.
What year was this?
Man, don't give me the line. I would want to say 92, 93.
Oh, okay.
94, off and near.
Okay.
Off and
Championship
near.
year.
Yeah.
Okay.
You're right. Now that I check my memory, it was absolutely right, because that's how I met all the Rockets.
Okay.
Because I was broadcasting, and I used to go to, the box used to broadcast before each game.
Yeah, it was right there.
Yeah,
by
right
the
there.
summit.
Yeah, right by the summit.
Yeah.
So, I had a chance to really look in with a lot of the guys on the Rockets and became lifetime friends of them. Robert Horry, Sam Cassell, Chucky Brown.
Chuck.
All of those guys, man, are still really good friends of mine. And, we were winning championships back in the day. We thought we were never going to lose.
Yeah.
We went back to back. So,
should have got that third.
Should have got that third. Yeah. But, that one thing led to another. And I remember it was a young lady named Robin Breeding, which was another hell of a jock back in the day over at 97. She used to do the morning show. And of course, I started off doing late nights.
Yeah.
So one day, they were doing this big contest over at 39, and 39 was not too far from us also.
Yeah.
And she was like, well, I can't get over there because no one can drive the van. And Scorpio was like, Solo know how to drive that van. I was like, I do know how to drive the van, So back in my mind, I was like, okay, I'm going to a TV station.
Yeah.
I already had the idea about Street Flava. Like, okay, I want to do Street Flava.
Okay.
So I was like, okay, this is my shot.
Yeah.
I get over there, I can shoot this thing to him about Street Flava. So I get over there, and 39 back in the day put on a great contest. It's called What's in the Box, surrounded around the box.
Okay.
Something I want to do, coming up here again, which was they had a jet ski in a box with a question mark on it hanging on a big crane. Okay. Beneath that was a brand new Corvette. Oh. So if you guessed what was in the box, you won the Corvette.
Okay.
And I was like, okay, all right. So we're out there. They gave a big carnival and everything, and I'm out there chunking frisbees, and there was a bunch of kids out there. And mind you, I come with this idea about pitching this video show that no one had ever done in Houston.
Gotcha.
So I ran into a young man, and he said, man, can I come and talk? Can I talk to you? And his name was Sean Haley. Sean was the acting director over there at the time, over at 39. Okay. And he said, hey, man, listen, I said, you're out there playing with these kids. He said, man, you're great with kids. I was like, okay, yeah. He's like, man, I want to offer you something. And I was like, okay, He's like, okay, well, I really want you to host this kids show that we have. Okay. And I said, man, you got to be out your mind. I said, I'm one of the craziest Negroes in radio. You want me to host a kids show? Yeah. And he was like, nah, bro, I saw you with these kids, and we need somebody that's good with kids, and you're great with kids. I was like, man, I love kids. I was like, well, listen here, Sean. I said, here's the deal. I came over here to pitch this video show to you, and it's called, I want to call it Street Flava, and whoop-de-woo. He said, well, I tell you what, do you know anything about TV? And I said, no, but I can do the show.
Yeah, I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. He's like, okay, listen, this is what we'll do. He said, if you host this kid show for me, I'll personally teach you everything you need to know about TV. God. And he kept his word.
Good luck, boy.
But what I didn't know is who was what was this kid's show? Okay, what do I have to be doing?
Yeah.
So, you know, we had the meeting and everything. It turned out to be Disney.
Oh, wow.
Disney.
Wow.
It was a Disney show. So I'm introducing Duckwing Duck, Goof Troops,
Darkwing Duck,
and
good boy, that's my
know,
childhood.
yeah, man.
Like, come on.
I'm introducing all of these kind of different cartoons, but looking back now, he was preparing me to do what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
Because if I can introduce cartoons, I can introduce videos.
Yeah.
And he gave me the format, and you know, sat down and taught me how to time code, which is like at the bottom of the level of learning anything about TV, but it meant the world to me.
Yeah.
Is because I could then go over those shows that I did, look at them, get better, and I could time code it and stop right there at that point, take it out and edit and do what I wanted to do with it. So that's how I started off time coding, you know, back in the day, just learning time code and how to edit, you know, the opening, the close of a segment, cut it there and go on into, man, we were on film back then. We used to slice it with a razor blade.
Throwback.
Yeah, this is very, very analog beginning ages, you know. But yeah, long story short, he kept his word.
Yeah.
He was true to his word. He taught me everything I knew about TV at that time.
It's always good to have a good mentor.
Man, he was the best.
When I taught, I told my students, I mean, that's essential. I mean, in anything in life as far as career goes, but especially in this industry.
Absolutely, absolutely. So, you know, one thing led to another. I started doing that Disney afternoon show. And again, he kept his word. I didn't even have to come to him. He said, listen, you ready? It's time to do this video show. It made about 2-3 months after that.
Wow.
He's like, it's time to do the show. So the very first show we did was a Labor Day show. It was called Labor Day Jam. And my thing was, I had all the connections coming from radio.
Yeah.
All I had to do was get in my Rolodex, call who I had to call. So the first group I called was UGK.
Okay, all right.
I called Pimp and Bun.
Yeah, you've been running that pimp.
Yeah, man.
I got a lot of questions about that. We're gonna get to that though. Well, yeah.
So, and I believe I still have that beginning. I still have that show, the Labor Day Jam.
Yeah.
And I go back and look at it every now and then. But man, Bun and Pimp came. We sat down on this little park bench on the outside of the studio. I didn't want to be clogged up in the studio with them.
Yeah.
So I went outside with them and we filmed them on this. We sat on this park bench and filmed it. And the very first time we aired Street Flava, it just blew. It blew everything away. It blew the roof off of Houston.
Yeah.
And they picked it up and we started running with it.
Man, that's amazing. Yeah, I was saying so my brother, he went to school in New Orleans, and I know. Well, first of all, of course, I grew up on Street Flava, man. First and foremost, boy, we didn't have cable, man. So
I put it right there, so I didn't want you to have no cable.
Look, man, to watch them video, boy, we would wait all week. And they had split-second videos.
Yes, I do remember.
Well, that was but that was on cable though.
Yes,
I think.
yeah.
But yeah, man, Street Flava, boy, my whole childhood, man, and man, boy, I tell you, and I'm sure there's a lot of kids like me, you know what I'm saying, growing up, because you know, hey, man, music videos is a big thing, boy. You get to school and then you get to see who you listening to, because I mean, in our day, you know, we lived and died by the radio.
Yes,
you hear a song, boy, you tape your song off the radio.
Come on now, they don't remember that, huh?
Man,
pop that cassette in,
boy, I'm telling
tape
you.
that whole set, man.
Hey, you be sitting waiting by the radio, waiting for your jam to come on.
Absolutely.
But go ahead. So man, so UGK, how was that, man? That's
like, first of all,
Pimp, R.I.P. Pimp, man.
Man, Pimp and Bun, tops on my list when it comes to rap groups.
Definitely.
Tops of my list, even then and now. Hands down, then and now. Shout out Bun B, R.I.P. Pimp C. Man. You know, but yeah, they were legends in my eyes.
Yeah.
I probably didn't show it, but I was starstruck.
Yeah.
I was starstruck sitting there with those guys. And I'd already knew them. I'd already interviewed them several times on radio. But man, it was just a pleasure to sit down and pick their brains about the industry. You know, Pimp and Bun is from Port Arthur, Texas.
Yeah.
And I was, you know, going in and asking them about coming from a small town called Port Arthur. Yeah. I remember when it was, I wouldn't say hard for them to come down here, but it was definitely some animosity with different groups that were out in Houston about how they got on so fast coming from a smaller town. And, you know, how they dominated the radio back in the day. But they were just
Yeah, because
they were just it.
I mean, well, yeah, and they were tied in really. I mean, with the Screwed Up Click,
Yes,
I know
yes.
they were over there a lot.
Yes.
So yeah, but so after that UGK interview, I had the things
Yeah.
flow for you. I'm
all
sure
opened up.
I know it.
Yeah.
It blew up quick.
It all opened up after that. The second call I made was to J Prince.
Oh, of
and
course.
I said, listen, Jay, I'm starting this video show, and I do not know how to get these videos, the videos that I need. He gave me one number.
Yeah.
And they still sending me videos right now today. I promise you. He gave me
Good
one
look. Shout
number. Shout out J
man.
Prince, man.
Yeah.
It's stepping stones to this stuff. And, people have to understand, yes, you have to be ushered in by somebody.
Definitely.
You can't just walk up in here talking about you're going to do this, you're going to do that.
Yeah.
If you're not a people person, if people don't see your vision, if you can't explain your vision,
correct.
then you're probably not to be in this industry, because you definitely have to have the gift of gab and be able to explain and walk that walk.
Oh, for
walk
sure.
that
It's
walk.
one thing to say, it's another thing to do.
Another thing to do it, man. And that's, I feel like, right now today that, we put in a lot of work at Street Flava. We try to show the culture, the bigger picture when it comes to, hip hop and what's going on in hip hop.
Yeah.
Because it's more, we're bigger than just music. Hip hop is branched out into every segment of life nowadays.
Yeah.
So,
it affects the whole culture.
The whole culture.
It's just based around hip hop these days.
You probably remember as well as it was hard for hip hop.
Oh,
nowadays,
yeah,
they don't make a commercial without a hip hop track underneath of it.
Yeah, we run the culture, man, and the culture runs the world. I mean, honestly, now it's global now.
Exactly.
It's funny just listening to you talk to Drake.
Yeah,
now,
man, shout out Tony Draper. We're sitting up here, getting our guests together and everything, and I was like, Tony Draper, I gotta call Tony Draper. And man,
global, you know what I'm saying? He made that comment,
man.
so yeah.
Again, another guy that, me and Draper are similar age, and he was so much mature than everybody in the industry back in the day.
Yeah.
He was a young man, but he was on another level when it came to business.
Definitely.
And I'm the type of guy that I am drawn to that. Like I'm drawn to people that know what they're doing. And Draper was one of the ones that allowed me to pick his brain, man. Like you say, we used to play basketball all the time. Me and Tony Draper.
He said you can't hoop,
So me and Tony Draper used to go ahead, and he had a shot on him, man. He had a flame on him, man. Like I was pretty decent in my day, and right now today, I work with a lot of kids. I train kids, AAU,
your kid,
and everything
your
like
boys,
that.
Man.
My baby boy is quite the hooper, 14-year-old little Evan Harris. So y'all look out for him coming down the line. But if you don't see me in a studio like this, the AAU circuit definitely knows me.
Definitely.
Yeah, and you get that look all the time. Is that? And I'm shaking hands all the time. Man, I knew that was you, bro.
I was in it. That's what we had in common. And I was working with Matt Williams.
Yes.
And rest in peace to Matt. His daughter's Gabby Williams. She went to UConn. She was just an all-star in the WNBA game.
Yes.
All-star game. So
man.
But so and we're speaking of Drake. I know A-Ball and MJG because in my book they right there with UGK.
Come on
man.
now.
I remember my brother brought home that coming out hard.
Come on now,
boy. So I'm sure I know you had a chance to interview them as well.
It's not a lot of people that we haven't interviewed.
I
haven't been in front of.
Of course.
But Ball and G. Top of my list. Top of my list. That coming out hard set a whole new standard. I look at Big X the Plug right now. And it kind of reminds me of Ball and the movement that Ball and G had back in the day. That kid just took the game.
He
really took the game. He cold with it, man. And no disrespect to you skinny rappers, but it ain't nothing like a big hard rapping, artist like Big X the Plug or like a 8-Ball, man. But I was always a fan of Ball and G. They had a totally different style when they hit. Jay was good at not stepping on this artist's toes and signing people that had their own identity and knew what they were doing. So yes.
So and I know a lot of people that always thought it was kind of some Draper and Jay rivalry or whatever in Houston.
I never saw that rivalry. I never. Matter of fact, it was my understanding that Draper was just picked his brain.
Yeah.
You know,
That's
he
what,
helped Draper with a lot of things. You know what I'm saying? So
I mean, Jay's good. A lot of people don't, I don't know about his reputation, but from everything I know, Jay's willing to help, man. He's one of the greatest guys you can know.
Listen, whatever side of Jay that they're talking about, I've never seen that side of him. You know, but I do understand this: the man means what he says and says what he means. You know, and a man like that, you don't want to test. You know, because he's definitely gonna do what he says he's gonna do.
Yeah, man.
And matter of fact, you're never even gonna know Jay's moves because he's so quiet.
Yeah.
You're never gonna get close to him unless he wants you to get close to him. So but his kids are everybody.
Man.
I got my daughter's the same age as his boys. They all came up together in the industry.
Man.
So.
Yeah. So I know. So I mean, like, we could talk all day,
man.
but I want to know kind of how was it maneuvering? Because I know a lot of those interviews, you were sometimes you were in clubs, man. Sometimes I saw one when you interviewed Pimp C, man, in Opelousas, I believe.
Opelousas,
now my mama from LeBeau, was right outside of Opelousas.
Yes.
So man, I know how them clubs used to be. My first cousins, man, we used to go up down there, boy. So
that was quite a trip. Quite a trip.
Tell us about the trip,
man. Listen, I've interviewed a lot of people. I've traveled all over the world, but that interview, from the start, it was wild. So we drive up. Pimp is already there. Matter of fact, Pimp told me, he said, man, listen, I'm gonna be in Opelousas. I think, if I'm not mistaken, my memory serves me right, he had not been out long.
Okay.
But after this, you know what I'm saying? So before this, so he's like, Solo.
Oh, this is right when he got out of jail.
This is not too long after he got out of jail.
Oh,
you know
that Pimp.
Yeah, not too long after he got out of jail, man.
Post TDC Pimp.
Yeah, man. So he was ready. He was on fire. So the first thing he did was he went to Studio 713. Ronnie Bookman used to own that studio, and he called me. Literally, I was out of jail. I'm on the way to Studio 713. You need to meet me over there. Come on, Solo. Let's do this interview right now. Because, to tell you the truth, I wasn't really, I knew Pimp and we were friends, but I wasn't as close to him before he went in than I was after he got out. Like, we were really, really cool, so I interviewed him. He wasn't out of jail 2 hours before he got to, however long it took him to drive from wherever he was, I met him over there. You know what I'm saying?
Gotcha.
So I don't want to lie about no 2 hours. But so I meet him over there, we do this interview and everything. And he directed me, hey man, I'm gonna be in Opelousas a couple of weeks. You can just come on down there and catch us live. First of all, what a show. What a show. I still have that footage and I'm gonna have to put it out sooner or later. We sprinkle you guys every now and then, but I have his whole concert of that night. So we get there and I want to get there early. Like today, I got here a little bit early.
That's what I was going to say. Look at Solo here before me. I said, man, let me go ahead.
I want to be on it, man.
There you go. I said, man.
So I get there, and I get there a little early. I think the concert was probably at, 11:30. I got there around 7, and knocked on the door. I just wanted to see the venue. And I knocked on the door, and the club owner comes out, and I tell him who I am and everything. Man cussed me out.
Oh, shit.
Man, F you. You don't know no damn Pimp C. I said, listen, bro.
Opelousas boys,
I said,
man.
You see all this camera equipment I got? I had me and my homeboy Big Chris. Me and Big Chris did Mouths of the South, a legendary group that's out of Houston. We did Mouths of the South. Well, Chris is...
My boy Elton, man.
There you go.
That's my boy, man.
My boy, So Chris is, 6'6" at the... Man, Chris used to play football for U of H.
Okay.
So right away, let me handle this dude. So I said, no, man, listen, let me call Pimp. So I called Pimp. He's Solo. What'd he say? I said, man, the man cussed me out, bro. He said, man, don't worry about it. You don't have to come worry about it. Come on to the hotel, bro. I come to the hotel. He politely picked up the phone. He cussed that man from here to tomorrow. 10 minutes, he was knocking on the door. The club owner, man, I apologize. I said, man, you saw me, bro. I was there. I had the crew, the whole nine. Why would you go there? I just want to accept your apology. But why would you go to Pimp? Man, I won't perform nothing. I got my money. He begging Pimp, please. So he ended up performing that night and everything, As the show is going on, there's another group called Mouths of the South out of Opelousas. We know nothing about it. So I go outside, hit the blunt for a little bit and everything. Before I know it, was 10 Negroes surrounding me, man.
Shit.
You know, man, y'all gonna have to change that name, bro.
Damn.
I was like, man, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
You know, and I had walked out there by myself. I was like, what are you talking about? You know,
Yeah.
man, well, we miles of the South, man. I said, and what do you want from me?
Yeah.
You know, we from Texas, y'all from here. Let's just whoever win-win.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? Nah, man, ain't gonna work like that, man. Then Big Chris and everybody started coming out there. DSolo, you know, so they come out there. I said, listen, man, we're gonna have to settle this right now.
Yeah.
It's gonna be some problems here in Appaloosa. I said, what about this? Why don't I just interview y'all for Street Flava?
Yeah.
Put y'all on, man.
Yeah.
Man, well, that's all we want, bro. That's all we want. I said, well, that's
man.
a dumb deal, man. Let's just do the interview. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So we ended up, I interviewed them first, then Pimp came, and that's the interview that everybody sees right now.
Oh, okay.
If you look at that video, you have some legendary people that was in that video that I didn't know was going to be legendary. Lil Bootsy is right behind us in that video.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And I was interviewing Pimp. I didn't know Lil Bootsy.
Bootsy, yeah.
He wasn't Lil Bootsy at that
the
time to me.
yeah.
Now, he may have been to Appaloosas, but I didn't know him on that level yet.
Okay.
So, you know, his story, he blows up.
Yeah, shout out Bootsy.
Shout out Bootsy,
Shoot,
man,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But Bootsy is sitting, young Lil Bootsy is directly behind us within that video. I'm sure we're showing it right now. But yeah, man, Pimp was just the Eddie Kane of our time.
Yeah,
the
man,
Eddie Kane of
boy,
our time.
man,
He spoke his mind. He either you loved him or you hated him. I don't think it was any in between with Pimp. You know, and yeah.
Spoke that truth to power.
Yes, he
and,
did. Yes, he did.
You know, and he was one of those, you know, at that point, a lot of people thought, you know, he was coming with the drama, especially with that Atlanta interview.
Yeah,
but, you know,
yeah.
he was more so about really bringing boys together.
Yes,
You know, really getting his money, you know, as he would say, you know, get up on the bread truck. You know what I'm saying? Get up off the crumb shit.
Yeah, get off them crumbs when I got a bread truck.
And, you know, it's a testament to you, and I like what you just said, how you handled that situation.
Yeah.
Because these kids, you know, me at the being down at the courthouse every day, you know, they got to understand, man. There's different ways to resolve
to handle things,
a disagreement and things of that nature. Because like what you just explained, you know, that could have got out of hand real quick.
It could have got out of hand real quick because everybody on my side was packing, everybody on their side packing.
We from Texas. You already know what it is. So, and I know them boys out there, half my family from out there.
Man, they about that life, bro.
Yeah, they about it, for sure.
So I was like, listen, man,
I got a
have
couple,
to.
my cousin in Angola. So, you know, and that's, of course, you know, that's what we're pushing here. You know, it's positivity.
Yes.
And there's a way, you know, you want to be in this industry, you want to be in the game, you know. It's like when I met you, you know, you know, we at Slim House, it's a way to approach.
Yes.
You know, we can all come together and get it together.
And
man.
we've been rocking ever since, man. That was a hell of a party, too.
Yeah, that was.
Shout out Slim Thugger, man.
Oh, for sure.
If Slim ever throw a party, y'all go to it. If he invite you, go.
We be at the gym every day, level 1. We be in level 1 every day, man. I see Slim every morning.
Slim
getting it in, boy.
Man, Slim,
I'm trying to get like Slim.
And I'm telling me and you both. You know, when a brother does something, he does it to the ultimate level. I remember, I'm probably getting off track, but Slim said something one day in a post that it's probably really small to people, but it was huge to me and how I was raised.
Yeah.
He said one thing and I stopped it and rewound it. He said, I beat you today.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, how you beat me? Me, myself.
Yeah.
He said, I made up my bed. First thing I did, I made up my bed.
Yeah, man.
And I said, I do that.
Yeah.
That's the first thing I do. Like,
man.
I get up, make up my bed, and then from that, I think I'm straight, you know.
Yeah.
After that, you know, get into my word and everything, get my mind right.
Yeah.
And then I enter into the world,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? But that's big, man. It might sound that's small, but man, that's details when you the first thing you do.
Definitely, man.
Tuck your bed, make your
change your whole mindset for the day, man.
Exactly. You're moving in a positive direction, you know,
direction.
just by making up your bed. So make y'all goddamn beds up. You know, make your beds up. Yeah.
So that's kind of, you know, the Pimp in the early era.
Yeah.
Now you had Street Flava as well as you know the Houston era, that early mid 2000 era where we took that big step.
Yes,
so I know you had a bunch of big interviews. Speaking of, that's what makes me think about it. Speaking of Slim, you know, Mike Jones and you know, of course Kiki and all. You know, that time period in Houston. You know, how did Street Flava work into that time period?
It was beautiful, Joe. It was beautiful for a couple of different reasons. My baby sister, she passed away, R.I.P. Pam Harris. Okay. But my sister was a publicist for a lot of these guys. Yeah. For Slim Thug, for Baby and Slim, for Snoop and guys in L.A. So she was heavy in the industry. Yeah. Super heavy in the industry, and she introduced me to the whole movement here in Houston. Yeah. Okay, because Kiki and them was running the show then. Yeah. But Kiki, I'm older than Kiki and the guys that are in the Screwed Up Clique. Yeah. My sister was their same age and hung out with them, kicked it with them, knew what was happening, knew what they were getting ready to do. And she was like, and plus I'm in radio. Yeah. So I'm her big brother, I'm in radio. And she's like, y'all need to put these guys on. Yeah. Like they getting ready to blow. So of course, me, Mean Green, Golden Boy, all of us, man, we made a effort to solidify these guys. We need to play them and put them on our show. I was a mix jock, so here's a big secret to a lot of people. To get on a station's playlist, like here in Houston, in a big time city like Houston, it's extremely hard. You're better off getting to their mix jocks. And I was a mix jock back in the day. So the record company would send us all of these different type of records and everything, you know. I remember the very first time I met Tupac was at a concert in LA. It was the Soul Train Music Awards. It wasn't just a concert. Yeah, it was the Soul Train Music Awards. And we were doing a show called Backstage at Soul Train Music Awards. Okay. A friend of mine hired me to come down. I wasn't even doing Street Flava at that time. Oh, okay. And did this show, and Tupac sitting there. Yeah. Well, I had just gotten his new release. Oh, okay. And no one knew Tupac, but I knew him. Yeah. This guy's going to be huge. Yeah. You know, so I see him, he leaning up against a little wall, you know, just head down, probably looking at his page because cell phones wasn't out. Yeah. Cell phones wasn't out. I said, man, you're Tupac. And he was like, I was like, dog, you about to blow.
What song was I Get Around?
I Get Around, Brenda's Got a Baby. Okay. It's on I got about 10 of them right now, never been open. Oh, wow. And they have record use only. Right there, it doesn't even have the artwork on it. Okay. It was just record companies sending them out test copies. That's what they used to call them. So, yeah, man, so, you know, it was different ways that they did business that don't even exist nowadays. Yeah. But, you know, saying all that to say this, you know, if Tupac didn't know he was going to blow, then, you know, it's people out there now that's, you know, probably, hey, man, I might not do this, I'm going to quit. Yeah. Man, keep going, keep doing your thing, man, because you never know, the next day might be that day that you absolutely blow, you know what I'm saying? So, but back to what you were saying, these guys were on top here, you know, and it didn't, we were in a closed, kind of like a closed atmosphere to me back in the day. Yeah. New York wasn't playing nothing of ours. But what we realized back then is we don't need to venture out. This is big Texas. Definitely. And if we can control Texas, we have a locked-in situation here. We really don't have to deal with a lot of people, you know. And when we set that scene, it flourished around the country like they don't have to leave Texas. Yeah. Right now today, you know, your Kikis, your Slim Thugs, your Mike Jones, your Paul Walls, man, these boys making paper. Ain't nobody, they's living in 5,000 square foot homes or bigger. They all in Benzes and, you know, and Porsches or whatever you want. That's because we're in Texas and we don't have to venture out to make a living.
Back to Pimp. That's what Pimp was saying. Boy, we were living in the mini mansions. Pimp was killing them.
Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. So, yeah, but to answer your question, it was a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful time in Texas, period. Yeah. Because you also had your surrounding cities that were making noise and everything, you know. Definitely. So yeah. So when I say how Street Flava during that time, because that was really a time where they transitioned, made that to MTV. I remember Sway came down here, did a segment. Yes. You know, they were just really getting that nation and worldwide pub. Yes. I know, you know, Swishahouse, of course. Swishahouse was doing their thing. Yeah, Tony Draper.
Draper, D-Rex. Rex Shop and them was doing their thing. Yeah. So, I mean, did you feel a certain type of way, you know, because you was the man. Street Flava was the show.
I certainly did. Okay. I felt a certain, I felt a certain kind of way, and then I saw the void. Oh, got you. I saw the void. Yeah. And like, you know, Tupac said, I peeped the weakness in the rap game and I sold it. Yeah. You know, that's what we did here at Street Flava. I peeped it knowing that they're never gonna put us on in New York.
Definitely.
They might come down here and do a show, a special, but you're not gonna break those guys' playlists out in New York. You know, and so it was up to. I really took it personal. It was up to me. To do it, and I know it wasn't totally up to me. But Joe, I took it personal. Like if I don't do it, no one else will.
Definitely.
And
you had the machine. Already.
I had the machine. I had the resources. To make it work. And where I didn't, God filled in the blanks. He made sure that I met this person and I met that person.
That's what I was gonna get to next. The relationships with
it's
people.
All about the relationships. It's all about the relationship. And people trust you with what they do. I tell artists right now today, thank you for trusting me with your dream. Because you're the one in that studio, 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, trying to make a hit, and then you figure you got it and you bring it to me. That means something to me. It really does,
Man, so okay, and so we passed that era. So now, now we're in this new digital age, man, this AI age. So how is Street Flava kind of, adjusting to the times?
Well, I would say probably back in 2010, I had to stop down. Redo everything. Just go over the landscape, the whole nine. Understand this digital realm that we're in. Understand that it doesn't move how it used to move. We were talking in the household the other day, me and my kids, about how there would never be another Michael Jackson. It's hard to build a Michael Jackson. Because you can't build it anymore. Like nothing is anticipated. Like we used to understand that Mike's or whoever album was going to drop on this date. Man, you're at the record store that next day getting those records and everything.
On that Tuesday.
Man, on that Tuesday, And my mother and father, they kept music playing in the household. So I want to shout out my parents because it was the love of music that carried me. I was, sitting in the studio the other day just thinking, Lord, He's allowing me to do this. I really do this for a living. And I'm telling you, Joe got locked up a couple minutes ago, and again, Joe got locked out of the studio, and I'm sitting here on set, like looking at the lights, like God is allowing me to do this, man. It's amazing. Blessing, it's a blessing because this is all we do. This is all we do, and the city of Houston has always been there. Again, a lot of shows like us folded. But this is a mecca when it comes to hip hop. Like we are the mecca now.
Definitely.
The people that took it personal, the people that felt like they had to do something, those are the people that built this city. Those are the people that, your Mean Greens, your Robert Scorpios, your, J Prince, Tony Drapers, D-Rex, Lil Troy's, and man, we were dead serious about it.
Mike Watts,
Mike Watts, Swisher House, absolutely, we were dead serious about it, and that was the camaraderie between all of us. Houston is so big that you can cross, different states. Going from the north side to the south side of Houston. You cross some states. In some instances, if you're driving, this big place called Texas. So it was very important to us to have our own, to dictate our pace, to make sure our people got on, and we had our own in those positions then. I didn't have to go far to talk to someone about getting playing Pimp or playing Bun them, whoever it was that we were fighting for. I mean, these people are right here in my own city. So nowadays it's different. It's syndicated shows that are here nowadays that they might not even broadcast here in Houston. They might be in LA doing the show or wherever they are doing the show. Well, that didn't exist back in the day. You had to see us. You had to see us. And that was really important. Well,
yeah, man. So I know we got this going. If you got anything else, I know you guys. Congratulations! You said you guys are about to be syndicated.
Yes, man.
You guys are now y'all on Fox Soul. I remember y'all, man. UPN. You came a long way, man. I'm so proud of you, bro.
Thank you, Joe. I'm awfully proud of you and what you do in this community. If you guys don't know, we all come across some situations where you can't handle this thing by yourself. And I love telling this story because this was the brother I got into, a little trouble, And this was the brother that came along, and I'm terrified. Joe will tell you, like, it was, you know, I got, I think, felony evasion, I think was the charge, you know. Long story, we can tell that later on. But anyway,
I don't need to know
it's
gone
nowhere
now, so.
on my record.
It's
like,
gone,
it's gone, you know. And this was the brother that walked me through that situation when I was terrified. You know, you got to understand that when them people got you, you got to deal with them. And my thing was, we wanted to get in front of the you know, whoever that can make that decision right away. The DA. And they kept setting it off. They took a whole year before I could get in front of the DA, but the truth was they didn't have anything.
They didn't.
And you were telling me that, like, Solo, they ain't got nothing. If they'd have had something on you, you would be in front of these people right away. So, you know, but when they shot it to me, like, okay, you can do this, take a driver's course or something like that. Joe was like, man, let's go to court. I'm like, Joe,
let's go to trial. You know, that's what I do.
Let's go to trial.
But see, that's how you get them, though. You know, you book them to trial. And that's one thing, you know, my mentor told Letitia Quinones. She's one of the best attorneys, not only in the state, but, man, in the nation. A black woman. You know, once you build that rep as far as a trial rep, you know, these DAs, that shit, they know it, man.
They know it. They know you don't push that button.
Something to worry about.
Yeah.
But, yeah, man, so.
No doubt.
And I know we said, so, you know, we done chopped you up, so
as
far
man.
as mine goes.
Yeah, man. So you know, the thing is, you know, we've been a great team for a long time. You know, one of the things was, you know, before any of this happened, the legal problems that, you know, I came across. By the way, I don't have a felony on my record. And they were trying to get your boy.
There you go.
I'm one of them dying breeds. I don't have a felony on my record. But it's because of this young man right here. And after, you know, before that, we were already friends. And like you said, we met through Slim Thug, and we combined together then. And I just told Joe, let me produce your commercial. Let me run you on Street Flava. And, you know, I in turn, I knew I could change your numbers. I knew I could change your numbers. And, you know, that was the thing. Now we're synonymous when it comes to anybody that has made that mistake and have to go down there and see them people. We keep that show there for a reason. Street Flava has always been the #1 watch show in the penitentiary here in Texas.
Definitely.
So, and that's something that was intentional. It was intentional because, like you said, you have a relative in Angola. My wife her brother was in Angola. I think he's somewhere else now, but he's still locked up. But he was in Angola for a long time. And that was one of the driving forces behind that, is to keep it there. They don't have that in Angola to watch the Street Flava.
And they need it, man, you know.
Man, so my question to you was, okay, so I know that you started off here at TSU, but behind that, what was your driving force of wanting to be a lawyer? Because you seem like you can do a lot of different things. Like, you know, you probably got a lot of things in your bag, but what was that turning point to, okay, no, I know what I want to do. I want to be a lawyer.
Well, it's kind of a long story, but I can, you know, kind of start from the beginning. It's crazy. You know, I'm the youngest of 4 brothers. You know, they're all athletes and things of that nature. Around the time my daddy was my father, Herbert Kelly, good man if you're from Frenchtown.
That's what's up.
You know, he was really into the OJ trial, when the OJ trial dropped. So I'll never forget, he had a bunch of books on Johnny Cochran, and he had this one notepad. It was a satirical, like a comedy notepad. And man, I used to just read that every day. Now, I didn't get all the jokes and everything into it,
but you're in there.
For whatever reason, I never really could understand it. But yeah, and of course, you know, he always talked about Johnny Cochran, who was, you know, my straight mentor. I never met the man, but I read all his books. You know, that's who I always strived and wanted to be. But you know, of course, growing up, you know, I got into a lot of trouble, man. So you know, I went to jail and stuff, and I went to jail when I was in high school.
Excuse me.
And then, of course, when I got out, and I'll never forget, of course, the judge saying, "Look, you going to go to TDC or you going to school?"
Right.
So at that time,
I picked school.
Yeah, you know, shit, you don't gotta tell me twice.
I'm going to school.
So at that time, Priscilla Slade was the president here.
Right.
And my godfather, that Fifth Ward connection.
Right.
I was
here, meaning TSU.
Texas Southern University. Yeah. So I was able to get in. They got me in the dorms. I'll never forget, man.
Right.
And it was a split second.
Right.
Because I was, you know, pissing dirty and shit.
Yeah.
Man, got me in. And I ain't gonna lie, I got here, shoot, I seen all the girls, and shoot, we still, and I'm still doing the same. So I didn't really take it seriously. It wasn't until my brother Doherty, he was the first one to go to college out of our family, and he went to Dillard University in New Orleans.
Right,
And my mother used to send us down there with him. Me and my other brother Jamil. And I got to, see the, this is Dillard and Xavier, black people, it's all black college.
Right.
And, he's Kappa and pledged and stuff. So I got to see that, and, I was like, okay, I didn't really, in high school, I wasn't really about going to college because I had felt like I'd already seen all of that. But once that happened, I got on the yard, and like I said, I still wasn't doing right. Because that was the prime years. We was talking about the prime years of Houston, boy.
So what age are you
time
right now?
I'm 19.
Oh, yeah.
18, 19.
You weren't going to do right.
And the crazy thing, we were talking about Pimp. So I was staying at Canfield, these apartments right there. When they shot the Get Throw video, it was right there, boy. And we got so turned up that night. We were supposed to go to the video shoot. They had a gas station on Scott right there, across from French's.
Right.
And I missed it. I said, man, 'cause I wanted to see Pimp so bad, man. I didn't get to see him before he passed.
He was special,
that was my
man.
opportunity.
Yeah, he was special.
But to get back to it, so Katrina happened, man. I was down bad. I got kicked out of TSU. I wasn't going to class, man. I was taking the refund checks, doing what
you want to do with them.
Yeah, which wasn't always the right thing to do.
Right.
But Katrina happened, man. My brother, he was going through a divorce. He moved back. They all had to come back to Houston. And so he moved in with me, man. And my brother sat me down. He said, Joe, you tripping, man. He said, bro, you could do this. He said, man, I got frat brothers. They lawyers, man.
Yeah.
You could do this shit.
Yeah.
You can go to law school, Tish. You got a law school.
Yes. Prestigious law school.
He put that in my mind, man. And first I had to beg my way back into TSU.
Right.
Shit, I had to go in front of the boy, get on my knees, and look, I'm ready now. Just give me this opportunity.
Right.
And it was really starting from scratch. I had, man, out of about 100 plus credits, I had like 20 something.
Right.
And I was just coming to school, get that refund check and burning out.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the journey I started, and it was tough.
Right.
Because it was like starting from scratch. But I got through it.
Yeah.
And then so I'm thinking this whole time I'm gonna go directly into third good. I got a TSU degree, so they're gonna let me in.
Right.
Took my LSAT. So the first year, they were like they got the waiting list. So man, I'm crunk thinking I'm about to go right into law school. You didn't
How
make
did that
it.
stop you?
You didn't make it this year.
Right,
So,
right.
I was like, well, I'm a natural born hustler,
Right.
First and foremost. So I was like, okay, fuck it.
Yeah.
So I went and got my insurance license. So I'm out here flipping insurance. I'm waiting
Right.
for that next year. They was like, you're going to be good. You're going to get in next year. We got you.
Right.
The dean at the time, I ain't going to say the name, but we got you.
Right.
Man, so I'm I'm selling insurance. I get called at that. I'm a natural salesman.
Yeah.
So my daddy was a salesman.
Like driving
so
a van.
I'm telling you. So I'm killing that. So, but then, so I stopped because I'm expecting to go in. Man, nah, Joe, well, we can't let you in this year. Man, well, your criminal history, your criminal record.
Right,
okay?
right.
And I was like, man, well, I ain't got no felonies. I got a bunch of misdemeanors, but,
Yeah.
But that was their excuse. So at this time, I'm heartbroken. I done told everybody I'm going to law school. I didn't, you know what I'm saying, to stop the insurance shit. So at this point, I'm just stuck.
Yeah.
I ain't got no source of income, no nothing. I'm
Right.
trying not to go back to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, by the grace of God, Matt Williams, he was the West Coast governor of the AAU. So he was trying to run some tournaments down here, and
Basketball,
basketball, man.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that I jumped in with him, man, and and I love basketball.
Yes.
All my brothers played. I played.
Right.
So I started doing that, because I never gave up hope. He was like, maybe, that next year, that third year.
Right.
So I'm doing that for a year. I'm out in Reno. I'm living in the I like to get, I like to gamble. So I'm living in the casino and
Pretty good life.
I mean, not really. It wasn't good for my health and shit. You know how shit at that time. You know how I was living.
Right.
So all the money I make, I'm on
Keeping
them
it real.
I'm on them tables. So, But yeah, man, and rest in peace to Matt. He just passed recently. But that's what I was telling you. His daughter Gabby, boy. I watched her since she was 5 years old in that gym. Went to UConn, won her 2 national championships.
Yes.
Now she's a
Legendary.
WNBA All-Star.
Yes.
But yeah, so peak game. So it's coming around that time, right? He wanted me to work full-time, stay.
Right.
I still had my law school dream, and at that time, the dream was I wanted to be an NBA sports agent because I was LinkedIn. It just made sense to me. I saw it. I was linked in with these kids that were doing AAU.
A lot of this is making sense now. Not to interrupt you because I've been knowing you so long, but I've been knowing it by bits and pieces. But go ahead.
So. With that being said, so okay, we're coming around to the next year, so I'm checking in with them early just to make sure. Like,
this will be the 3rd year.
This is the 3rd year, so I'm like, shit, what it's looking like? And he really was like, man, I don't think it's ever gonna happen. I don't think it can happen. Yeah. So I'm like, fuck, you know what I'm talking about. So I was just like, and I had my heart so set on for 3 years. You know?
Yes.
So shit, man, my little cousin turns out. So my cousin Cole, the football, he from Baton Rouge, Daryl Glassmer, and so he had went to LSU and then he transferred to Arkansas, and they weren't giving him no PT. So man, I'll never forget this like it was yesterday. I'm coming from 3rd Ward. I was saying to Midtown. I'm coming down Alabama. I get a call, cuz I'm coming to TSU. I almost wrecked my car because it's my little cousin. Out of all, I got about 31st cousins on my mama's side. We the babies. He younger than me.
So y'all
that's,
hook up.
That's my little cousin, man. So, man, so he get down there. I'm telling him, you know, about how they ain't let me in the law school. Turns out his uncle is the dean of the School of Public Affairs.
Come on now.
I'm talking about one call. He said, let me make a call, one call. I'm in there.
You in there?
I'm in there. They said, I'm in there. One call. Wow. Boy, I said, man, I got it. I said, I won't let you down. Man, they let me in there, bro. A lot of my classmates at TSU, they used to clown me because that first day, you know I'm talking about, I'm on the front row, boy. I'm answering every question because, you know, at this point in my life, I'm in 28. I'm not. There are a lot of kids who are going. You know, you go straight from undergrad through. That wasn't my experience. So I wasn't playing with it. At TSU, you have what's called a curve.
Right.
So that first year, you can't play.
Right.
So
did you feel like you were trying to catch up?
No, hell, I mean, shit. Once they told me what to do, I know how to follow directions now. And shit, I've always been a big reader.
Right.
You know? We was like, you know, the autobiography of Malcolm X. My mother made us read that. You know what I'm saying? Growing up, so reading ain't no thing.
Right.
You know?
Right.
But I used to get clowned, shit, because I used to read for fun, man. And my boys used to make fun of me growing. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You know.
Right.
But go ahead.
No, I was going to ask you this. Your brother. That was a special situation. Did you feel that you had the right intangibles to become a lawyer? Or who encouraged you? Because it seemed like you really had some positive people around you. Like your family was incredibly, positive about you being this lawyer. But in your heart, did you feel like you had all the right intangibles to become a lawyer?
I mean, to be honest with you, man, look, my mama, bro, Linda Simeon Kelly, man, she's an artist here in Houston, one of the top African American female artists here, really in the nation. But my father, Herbert Kelly, like, you know, they are both just natural born hustlers, and they've always, you know, supported me through all. I've made a lot of mistakes, you know what I'm saying? But through all of that, of course. And, you know, and they saw the dream. And then when they saw me really started taking school seriously, like I said, after my brother initially gave me that talk, he sat me down. And, you know, I started shit. I got serious about my grades and was getting on the honor roll, or, you know what I'm saying? And they, of course, they had every ceremony. So that foundation right there, you know, and my brother Jamil as well. So, you know, we was a tight-knit family. So
how important is that for this young man that's watching this segment right now that may not have that type of support
I mean, yeah, you could find it if you don't have it in the home, of which I know a lot of kids don't, and a lot of people don't. You can find it elsewhere, like you know. And I was going to get down the line to that. I mean, and like I spoke on earlier about having mentors, you know, and we're everywhere, and that's why I make it a point to mentor kids.
Yes.
Like when I graduated from third grade, I would go back and teach mock trial. Like that was very important to me because that is responsible for all of my success, and that's kind of where I was getting into. So in law school, of course, so it was the mock trial program had always been something that I wanted to do because when I got there, I'd heard about how successful they had become.
Right.
So what had happened was. There was a guy, Jerry Galo, who's one of my mentors, one of the top attorneys in Texas, white guy from Beaumont.
Beaumont,
you know
Texas.
What I'm talking about?
Yeah.
From the golden, what they call it, the golden
Triangle. Yeah.
So he came down there. He saw Thurgood at a mock trial tournament, and we were known for not being one of the best law schools. We were probably one of the worst. But he saw the potential in us.
Right,
you know what I'm saying?
right.
This is a white guy from Austin, successful practice. So he took it upon himself to drive down to Houston once a week, man, and teach the kids how to try cases.
Yes.
And he took on Leticia Quinones, who is like my legal mother, okay, and started the program. So I got into that program, and man, I did very well. We were number one in everything.
You already bought in now.
Yeah. So we was number one. We was all across the nation and everything, man. Yeah. And so from there.
So took a school that wasn't number one to a number one status.
Yeah, well, in the mock trial.
Yes.
So, but with that, and then, this is a guy, you know, that's responsible for a lot of my success, attorney Carl Moore.
Gotcha.
So Carl went to high school with me. I went to school to play football with his brother, and Carl was already doing it big. He represented a lot of rappers. Him and Jay are really close. Leticia taught him. So I was actually working for him. A family attorney, and she.
Yeah. This is after you graduated.
This is after I graduated, and she had me all on the cover of magazines, and then tried to fire me. So kind of used me, okay. So Tisha said, I called Tisha. She said, "Boy, come on over here." And that's the end of the game. So with that being said, and then so fast forward, of course, that leads me to being at Slim House and meeting you, and you changed my life, brother.
Man,
I tell people that all the time. We sat there, and when that commercial ran, I went to the studio that night. I had my little partner and tell him he did the little rap verse, Jay Ford. And man, it was on from there. At the whole time, I was still doing personal injury.
Right.
And so now it lands us here today to where, you know, I got this personal injury firm, man, and we're doing big things. We've always been working with Donna Turner, who did a lot of my cases while I was still doing criminal, but now that we're specifically doing personal injury, man, we're taking it nationwide. So that's where we are today, man.
Man, that's a big one. Before we leave, I have one other question for you. And I know we got maybe about 2 minutes left, but what was that breakout case for you when you were like, I am a real attorney? What was that case?
It's a bunch of them, man, because Tisha would let me work on so many cases with her. But Carl put me on. Me and Carl, we did Nia Guzman and Chris Brown's case.
Wow.
That was a big one, but we were on TMZ, Baller Alert, and all of that.
Right.
So that got my name out there.
Breakout case.
Man, but I've had, I had a really big aggravated assault trial case that I won, man, and it was like a lose-lose case, man.
Right.
And,
had you back into that coma.
I had to put that belt to ass to the prosecutors, but yeah, man. So that was a big one, man. That was a big trial case.
Real
that I did that. Where my boy Donnell, man, he helped me out on that one. So
you are a true trial lawyer. When this man say he's a true trial lawyer, he wishing they get in that trial situation with him, man.
They don't want that smoke. Definitely, man.
This has been great, man. You know what? Another one underneath our belt, and I got a chance to get you to get to know you a lot better.
And I've got a chance to ask a lot of questions, man, because you know
I still got a lot of them.
I know. That's what I said. It's hard shit to condense 30 years into 1 hour. 1 hour.
Well, man, we've enjoyed you guys. Thank you guys so much.
Make sure y'all like and subscribe.
Yes,
please. Check us out, man.
Please.
We got a lot of big things. Fox Soul, Joe Kelly and Associates. JustLetJoeKnow.com.
Yes, sir. Until next time.
All right, and we out.